Good evening, folks, and everyone at the back. Hello. I don't know why I waved then. I was like, I just decided to wave, see if anyone comes back. So tonight it should be an interesting night. I'm hoping it's an interesting night, in the sense that you guys have already gone through a number of things. And have you enjoying the track so far? I didn't manage to make the past two sessions, but I saw some of the comments flying around that looked like they were really interesting sessions that were being covered. So you got into teams. So the biggest hurdle that we believed we would face was convincing a bunch of strangers to work with other strangers. So you successfully did that. So thank you so much for participating. Um, Now we're into, and it's kind of two very rapid sessions here, which is session two, which is tonight, which is where you guys get to tell us how things have gone. And they could have gone in very, very different ways. Really well, and you're loving what you're doing, kind of okay, and you're struggling and need some help, or the idea tanked and didn't go so well, in which case we've learned something and maybe we move on. So tonight is a lot about helping us understand what you need next. So not only sharing with everyone else in this room as to what you've done, what you're maybe going to do, but also what help can we provide you next. And then obviously next week, so we're going to record you guys. Obviously, we've been doing this all the way through. We're going to record your demos. And we should have some nice voting done between now and next week. However, there is still a window of opportunity to improve what you've already done. Okay? So if anyone in the room, and I know we had a few people talk about this where their idea wasn't working so well, and as a group, they collectively decided this isn't good. There's still a chance to join another team. There's still a chance to actually, if you have an idea how to help another group improve their idea, well, tonight's your chance. Tomorrow's your chance. So don't let this opportunity slide, because there's still more things that you can do and learn. If you're not already on the Zoom link, we've got it here. If you click it, no, that doesn't work, but you know what I mean. If you need it, if you're getting stuck anywhere, please let us know and somebody in this room will help you. I think what we're going to do for a number of technical questions, though, if there are some, is if no one can answer it in the room, we will capture the question and get these back to you on Teams. Okay? So we'll make sure we get some kind of help for anything that you're struggling with. Sound good? Sound okay? I'm in Latvia, so it's very quiet again. Know your audience. Also, it's getting cold. Come on, guys. There's no snow. That's next week, yes? I've seen the weather forecast. June in snow. June for my birthday. Snow for my birthday. Nice. Just to reiterate on what Olga kind of put up on Teams the other day, is we're going to cover these things, okay? The ideas that you've thought about. So we really want to hear these things. So we've heard a little bit about these things, but I think everyone would benefit from hearing about what it is you're trying to do or have done. We'd love to see the solutions that you've done. Now, notice I put the code. Why not? You've got a bunch of developers and engineers in the room. Why would you not show code? So it doesn't have to be a working demo. It could be, this is what we're doing. This is what we're exploring. This is what we're using. I think that's probably as much interest to everyone else in the room as it is for your team. And maybe, I believe, I've been told we've got at least 2, maybe 3 demos. I'm looking to Olga for confirmation. I should be looking out there. Woohoo! So I'm going to go for 3. As many demos as we can get until we run out of energy, in which case we will call it a night. But ultimately, we really want you guys to share with each other what you've learned or what you hope to learn. Okay? We all good? Again, I probably should have put one more slide here, and that would be, who wants to volunteer to go first, or who wants to be voluntold to go first? You have a choice or not. Is anybody brave enough to want to go first? Yay, we got one. Okay, so That was the worst round of applause ever. But we'll take it that that was the round of applause for me. So I'll take the pressure for that one. I'll stop sharing so you can share.
Yeah, but I need help with Zoom because I
Oh,
don't know how to start.
okay.
It's open here. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, so if you do share screen,
Yeah.
You have to stop sharing
that's
your
okay.
screen.
It's
Then
that's
can you
fine.
make
That's just me stopping sharing.
Okay.
It doesn't kill my share. Now you should be able to share.
Okay. If I press.
Yeah, that share green button at the bottom.
Yeah. I
Oh yeah,
press.
and then just select the screen you want to share.
Okay. So.
You good?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
there we go.
Okay.
We have if you
Oh.
let's. Oh yeah, yeah. Go on, use that one. And just if you want to sit by, make yourself comfortable. Unless you want to be at the
Okay.
podium.
Okay. So my group consists of two people because we are work related and such. And when we started going to these seminars, like, but everything okay?
Hmm?
Yeah. Um, uh, we actually received kind of a work assignment that fit into the purpose of these seminars, that to show more of Azure, to show the possibilities and such. And so we had the problem that we needed to translate text from video. Uh, so far, we have made a solution that gets audio from video, and then by using speech recognition makes it into the text. And the whole solution consists of web application, of blob storage. Everything, by the way, is on Azure. Of Azure function and web app function and Azure SQL. So we use solely only Microsoft products, mm, by one exception, that's FFmpeg, that was used to convert videos to audio. So, for example, there are two uh, already done recognitions, like Russian, where it shows what is recognized from video, and Korean also. It just currently it displays text, but in the near future we'll split the recognition column on two sides, so there will be the original and the translation. Because, for example, this one is English, but this one is Russian, and not everyone knows Russian, so we'll have it Russian translated to English. And for example, there when using a video upload, there are multiple languages that Azure Cognitive ah, services support, and so the possibilities are quite wide. For example, for this demo, I can show how, like, there's also actually quite huge difference there. If I remember correctly, four different types of languages available on Microsoft speech recognition services there: English American, English Britain, English Canadian, English Australian. And if you input the same file by choosing different languages, it actually outputs quite different results. So I'll use a small file, but they can take up to quite a lot of minutes. Um, so it shows when the video is uploaded, and the data table refreshes, awaiting when the recognition will be done. Because recognition takes quite a lot of time. Like for 10 seconds, it usually also takes about 7 to 8 seconds. It's only waiting for the recognition results from Azure Cognitive Services. For example, this one I just uploaded, and this one contained a small text. Like to get a grasp how good is the default recognition, we can check the file uh, that I just used, and I used YouTube. Uh, oh, okay. So from YouTube, I downloaded videos that contain some sort of already text written, so I could judge how well is the recognition results. So here are three sentences that we saw, and it's about 12 seconds long, and it recognized A. Apple, apple every day. B. I hope it doesn't float away. C. Cat, I love to bed. So if it's default recognition, what we discovered, it actually really heavily focuses on what kind of language you choose. Uh, uh, what I said about the English Canadian, English Australian, and such, and on the quality of audio. For this one example, like it was about 480p that I converted. So, and it's and this is already a good result, because if I do the same for using American English, which also uploading, so the results will again. Also, another thing that I forgot to mention, when we build, we want to conserve resources, so that if a file gets uploaded once more, the program recognizes the file and just says, okay, okay, everything good, and doesn't do anything else. Like for this, because I used English ABC test, it checks actually the checksum of the file to verify if it's already uploaded. So I won't be able to show the um, American recognition result. Uh, as I understood, uh, we have to show a little bit of what we have to set up. So this is what the stack research group that we have set up in Azure. As I said, it uses web app, SQL, Azure SQL, Key Vault for, of course, protection, logic apps for receiving a trigger and then launching a function. Afterwards, it will contain two steps, like receiving a trigger, then launching function for recognition, and then launching a function for translation. And simple storage account for saving files, and well, having a place where when it's transcoded from video to audio, so there would be a temporary storage for that. And if I remember correctly, the last thing that was needed was so a little bit of, like a little piece of code. It's all written in C sharp. Well, not all. The user interface is written in React.js TypeScript. So there are quite a lot of different technologies mixed together to make one final product. So here for the code, there are quite simple steps. Getting the request. Request comes with a file name. Function connects to blob storage, verifies if the file exists. If it doesn't exist, then it says that you need to go away, you are bad people, and such. And also, another thing that wasn't here like a few days ago is the language string, because recognition really heavily changes depending if you set language for the video or you don't. Here just okay, sets temporary paths, does a transcoding for this one is taken from documentation for Azure services, so that it would recognize the speech. Recently, I saw that there's a premium service that also takes not just a single single. for single channel audio, but also dual channel. So that's also interesting, something that we might look into future because monologue it's okay, but yeah. So it here it does the transcoding. When it receives the file, it saves the file entry in Azure SQL, and when it sends over to the function, it only sends the file name so that it takes from Azure SQL the data that it needs, and then does the recognition. Yeah, so that's about all.
Okay. So, thank you.
Should I stop?
Yeah, stop sharing. So, has anyone got any questions, thoughts? What did you think about what you saw? Anything? I know I've got a couple of questions, but I wanted to make sure that other folks got a chance to ask him.
It's Material UI. It's Material UI, and for data tables, it's we UI data tables that, and I chose it basing on my needs that I needed to have remote data. Like long ago, when I used to specialize only on jQuery and JavaScript, I used data tables. That's maybe others have heard about such a library. That's exemplary, like really good. And unfortunately for React.js, it's so far away that there's only about 5 good libraries to use. So it's Greg BNB, I think, newer tables, but it's so so yeah. Because my colleague had family issues to sort, so he couldn't attend. And besides, I was the idea author and quite huge contributor, so it was okay for me to present. Uh, with help of my colleague, it would be actually two men army. So did you know, like Rambo and Bruce Willis? Yeah, from Die Hard. Yeah. So
So, okay, I've got. So, has anyone else got any other questions before I start something again?
oh, actually three man army. I forgot. We got we got this.
You got that?
Yeah.
Nice. How would you see this being taken forward? What would you do to this going forward?
Okay, we actually last last session we I learned quite a lot new about Lewis, and it was something that I also pushed forward, like mm, with proposals, and I already got semi green light for implementing it into the future because translation comes first, and afterwards we would use Lewis to detect the sentiment in the text because it's mostly will be used for detecting what people think or well like analyzing such features. And since last time the Lewis was displayed, I thought that it's actually really good. It actually can automate quite a lot of work and make it easier for people who are making ensuring if nothing is bad said or well such stuff. So yeah, integrating in voice. And another thing that as you saw, the text formatting wasn't as so good. So actually Lewis also, as I read, helps with that it can detect and figure out what should be made into sentences and split into paragraphs. And another thing that I was also ready to explore is indexing video in fragments to one increase speed for recognition, and another to know when a certain text is said. Yeah.
Okay, nice, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, who would like to go next? The area is all yours.
Where? Yeah.
Okay. You have a microphone.
Uh, I no. How should I connect? I have HDMI and I have.
Zoom.
kind
Just
of.
share it through Zoom. Yep. Zoom share.
It won't be on the screen. Okay, share
Maybe probably share your desktop.
screen. Yeah, I'll just share my screen. Uh, okay.
Hello, my name is Vadim,
How's that, mean?
and we are emerging team, and we are working on very few virtual assistant. So let's start with the quick demo.
Okay. So we are creating a value flow quality virtual assistant. Now it is connecting to our team's test environment. Basically, you can ask bot about value flow quality. For example, what is VFQ?
Take a little bit of time on current. Let's see. Okay. But we can switch to the emulator once locally.
Yeah.
Mm,
To improve performance. Yeah.
mhm.
So yeah, we have
So yes,
backup.
for example, it's virtual assistant welcome message. I'm a VFQ virtual assistant, your guide to the exciting world of
It answers.
Oh, I can answer.
value flow and quality. And yes, here you can see that bot answered our questions. That VFQ is a framework of focus and so on.
If you want to know what the framework of focus is, you probably should ask a consultant.
Or you could ask me. I'm head of education at BFQ. It's fine for emerging. So yeah, that's really good. I like this. I'm really interested in this because I can check your homework.
So, for example, next question can be, how much time do I need to learn it? Yes, yes. And he answers that all our content and courses are designed to support you during your day-to-day work. I will not read it. No. And for example, next question can be, if I know Agile, is VFQ relevant to me?
Good question.
So yeah, but answers that question also. We will show the work of our VFQ virtual assistant more detailed next week because we are still working on questions and answers. So yeah, that's our demo.
Nice.
So let's talk about the idea for inspiration about the problem. So the great people at our company, Emergent, are generating a huge amount of content on various topics ranged from IT best practices and project management to simply improving our daily work. But this content gets scattered to various platforms, limiting its discoverability. Yeah.
So what we imagine for the final product B is to collect all this knowledge and someone who can actually interact with and ask more specific questions and have answers. You can use it either for introduction to LA or if you already know something, there's a lot of content and a lot of ways to improve. So for that, we actually have used multiple technologies, and it's time to show this thing. So you can see we used Q&A Maker, Lewis, Content Manager. These are not all that can be used. Yeah, but this Q&A Maker is how do you create a question answer, Lewis helps us to detect what is asked in different ways. So it detects an intent. So if something is written like general language, it should understand it and translate on to Q&A maker and return the correct answer. This, of course, is trainable, so you can improve it over time and train bot. You can have a like accuracy rating for it, and etc. So for testing, uh, we implemented two channels. One you saw, it's already Teams, and the second one is, if I select the bot here.
So maybe just to emphasize, we already have in production work because Teams is currently our production environment, right? So anyone who uses channel with Teams can work. So it's not just developed it locally, it's all in production.
Sales, delivery.
So it can be integrated with a lot of things: Slack, Teams, Cortana, etc. Yeah. So for development, we use the development framework for the testing, right? And you can see the traces. Add something?
Yeah, so I'm basically the good from bad from guy. So the bot itself creatively used the Microsoft Cloud framework, and it was a pretty pleasant experience. We managed to get it working day one, and then we continued to document it. And so that's a big plus. That there's a lot of boilerplate code already available that we can use to get something working pretty quickly. And another big plus is that none of us have a background in machine learning, but using the cognitive services, we can still harness the power to get make something useful. So that's also a pretty big plus. As for the negative experiences that we had, so the first issue is that many of the features and information is scattered around many websites. For example, we had a specific issue where we couldn't configure some list settings without going to the separate list page. Uh, uh, there's also the information may not be up to date, and the information may differ between the various development environments. So that that was a pretty significant issue. Just checking down where we have to configure stuff before. And that's the other issue is that well, there's the boilerplate code is pretty good. Uh, Getting it running smoothly takes a lot of effort, and it's also pretty hard to develop because uh, if a couple services decide to not work, it's pretty hard to track down where the issues are. And the last thing, you may have heard the previous speakers talking a bit fun about the team who have run past that $100 mark. That may or may not have been us. So the issue is one of the tutorials that let you create uh, what's it called? So not the service, but to deploy Azure app. It contained code that automatically generated the application with the first payment here, I believe. And yeah, stuff like that is pretty rocky. It's hard to track down, especially when the the cognitive services that we use didn't use a lot of money, but they depended on search that took quite a dent into our finances, let's say.
Okay.
So yeah, for it's there should be a pricing tier or some enthusiast developer tier that let you access the full feature set
Or
without
not allow you to run anything.
yeah. That's
These, just that we have a technical hiccup.
I'm afraid that the bot takes into account that and does it would in the future, I suppose, uh, save a history of changed information and recognize if the question pertains older information, tell that it's already like outdated, and here's the new thing that you
Okay, I think that's the question about the knowledge-based service specifically. I you have to maintain, I think.
yeah,
Not quite sure, but currently it's generated and saved. So you have provided information to the service and to compile it into the question answer list, and you can actually add an for vary the question. So it's not like fixed one question. You can add variability to this question so it understands it. So it's not like just one specific string. You can add multiple strings which alternatively give the same answer. But on the update, I'm not sure.
I think it would be something that could be maintained because then we would need separate service that follows the actual resources that we use and then decides with update it or not. And it's actually
It's not what we looked into it, but it could be
something-
possible
something
actually.
to
Yeah.
keep in mind.
like
You
it's,
have to maintain that base probably.
like it was said that traveled around and talked with all the engineers. Like Azure keeps improving and more services. So something that was said last year could be quite outdated today. So a bot that could say, well, if you search that and like, for example, maybe remember that yes, it was searched, but the knowledge base just added an answer that's like quite pinpoint on the question that was asked 1 year ago, and it was like without a real answer, and a year later it's with an answer. No, it's just an idea. Like
Could be, but yeah, we don't know how to answer this question. Just honestly, it's our first experience with Azure and these services. We can answer what we explored, not
Yeah.
more.
yeah,
So we have different priorities. So for us, it's very important to making sure that it's worked correctly, answers and mature right. So we have this conversational experience. So of course, your proposal is important, but for now, for our demo, for our sake, we are just focusing on more important.
Okay. Yeah.
Consider the type of answer different systems generate. Because it seems a little bit too superfluous. Tries to make conversation, but it's too much information.
Well, yeah, it's just what we used as example for the knowledge base. We used frequently asked questions, so we limited our knowledge base just for the purpose of demo. We did not invest in. It's not programming Java to create those knowledge bases. But that's quite possible to simplify these answers. It's just work to do. Yeah, I see that you're talking that this is pretty big, maybe, for the simple answer. Yeah, but that's what we inputted and that's what it outputs. So you can actually feed gigantic files there, easy, and it will work.
But I think do we have to actually not the main service? Because
I don't think for this one.
yeah,
So maybe it will be enabled, but it's not cleaned up, right? So I believe if we use a professional insurance, right? So long-term professional, but again, that's a work in progress, and we have a week to clean up, right? So,
We have some more time.
yeah.
But for the question, there's functionality to let the actual chat be more human interaction, like with more simple answers and stuff like that. But when there's more specific questions, we like to look up stuff from the knowledge base and then try to give like an answer for a specific question. I guess it's kind of a block of a text, but
There is a chit chat right now, it's service in the code, but it's not connected to the specific instance which you are using for the demo.
Okay. And what would that do? What would the chit chat enable
It's
you?
like answer the simple hello.
Okay, so
Agree.
it turns it much more into a conversation.
Yeah, and you can actually select the flavor of chit chat. we could say. It could be friendly, professional, relaxing, kind.
Grumpy English. Can we do that? Excellent. Awesome.
I think you could
I could.
propose that to Microsoft.
There's always going to be a job for me somewhere. I like it. So yeah, okay. I mean, so with that idea of those big block answers, is it possible to then to say give that smaller answer, but then say tell me more, and it's contextually aware to go pull more information on that subject?
It actually was like the extra what we planned.
Mhm.
So you could do like cascading dialogues, which it can take in account of previous answer, like go next, like split into the next answer.
So it will work like the splash page where there's three buttons. I think that the idea was to implement that in a similar way, where it goes for a short form answer,
Mhm.
then there's a button tell me more or something like that, and go for the long form answer. Yeah.
Dispatcher was the word I was looking for.
Okay. Cool.
So there are several ways to implement it. So, for instance, in technical way, it will be usage of multi-turn conversational flow model from Q&A Maker. Additionally, we can use dialogue model. So the conversation, which happening with both, is divided into dialogues. So in order to split up and have more fluid conversation, we can create a separate dialogue and just split up this into small pieces and steps to not overload our user with such amount of information yet.
Okay. Nice. Any other questions, guys at the back, just in case? Like everyone at the back of the room is like, please don't ask us. No, no, no. Cool. Yeah, you're going to show us something again next week, aren't you? Is the plan?
We would like, well, I just thought of an idea for the enablement for our Microsoft guest teams. Can we do that?
So there's this thing in Teams that to add an application, you have you need
Right.
Oh, you need the author. So in other words, that you would be able to add it to. So if somebody at Microsoft authorized this app to run inside their Teams
then
instance,
everyone could try who's in this.
that would be real life. We will see if we can work that out. I think I'm going to say yes with a. Sorry. Service desk request. Okay, I'm going to say yes with a 75% confidence. Or it's also known as who do I need to buy beers and chocolates? Basically, last chance for. There we go. I can whatever is required. Thank you guys. Cool. Folks, I think we are ready to go again. So again, don't forget, as you're demoing or as you're starting your demonstration, don't forget to introduce your team. It will help Olga greatly and help us when we watch back through this video. Cool. Over to you guys.
Thank you. Just a second.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. I think everyone is still fairly settling in.
It's done. So, hi everyone. My name is Richard, and my colleague Yevgenis is here with me today. We are from company Alva. Has anyone heard about? I'm sure. In the beginning, I will tell you a few words about who we are and what we do in our business, so you can get the idea about our project, how we got to this idea, what we are trying to do right now. Who is playing with the mouse here? Is it for purpose?
Yeah. Can we
You're coming
Sorry?
through. Can you mute your
Mute my microphone.
microphone, please?
How do I do it?
That's a different screen.
That's not my
Different
screen.
That's not, so do the stop share.
Stop share.
That's it. The host has moved, so we're all good. Start share again. You're good. The host has done this. By the end of tonight, we'll realize why. Big plug for a certain company here. Teams is a better option.
That's why we use it.
Right? You're
So, are we good now? Is it fine, the sound?
Yeah,
Okay,
we can definitely hear you, so it's all good.
right. So, first of all, we are Microsoft Golden Partners for enterprise resource planning, which means we deliver solutions for other companies, all related with the resource planning, resource management, meaning their purchases, the management of the sales, inventory, and so on. We've been doing this for about 15 years already. We have about 20 employees in our company, experts in different fields, working with dynamic products, working with databases and different applications. And we have implemented about 300 deployments for our customers with ERP systems. One of our new business segments where we are working for the last couple of years, and I'm responsible for this, is business intelligence. We have a not very huge team, but it's about 5 experts, and we have already deployed about 40 successful solutions for business intelligence, meaning that we connect basically solutions like Power BI with our ERP systems. Maybe we build some data warehouses in between them and provide these reporting solutions. This Hothouse was a perfect place where we find an opportunity to try some new different Azure services that we have heard of but never had a chance to actually work with them, try to understand how they work and what each of them does. So we created this Project X. This is the Hothouse project that we call Project X just because any one of us couldn't come up with a better name. Somehow, very easily, we found the members of the team. Uh, Too bad today we are only two of us here, but I will show you what each of us has done. What are the responsibilities of each of our team. Yeah, and the main goal or the mission of this project for us is to try new solutions, but keeping in mind our business that we have done until now, and find a way how we can deliver new solutions for our customers, and by that we could also grow our business. So we came together to our first kickoff meeting internal. This is the actual drawing on the board. It was like a brainstorming. What could we do? What could we deliver? Um, figure, Figured out that we would like to play with some kind of IoT systems, but very simple. We choose to create an Android application which sends GPS location data from the phone to somewhere. I will show you where, and then work with this GPS data. And we would also like to take photograph fuel consumption receipts when you refuel the fuel. Salesman could take a photo of the receipt, and it should be recognized via cognitive services, and then maybe even posted in ERP system. And in addition, we would like to provide a reporting solution via Power BI embedded, where customer can see the routes of the salespersons, where they have been, how much fuel have they fueled in, how much does it cost, and if if the GPS location fit with the routes. So to let's say not allow to cheat for the salespersons to take some friends' bills and put it in accounting for cash uh, compensation. So architecture for the project. We have a developer who created a mobile application on Android, and this application does two things. First, it generates GPS location data where we are, at what time, and then this data is being transferred from storage containers with logic apps to Azure SQL database. This is one scenario, and the second scenario is taking photos of the receipts, which are also put in storage containers, and then how to say sent to cognitive services for recognition, and the data is also written in Azure SQL database. And then we can create Power BI reports, embedded solution where app owns data, meaning that customers can log into our web application and use the information which we have delivered via Power BI. Yeah, here are the experts that have worked with each of the stage. So we have this mobile app developer, we have data integration developer who work with Logic App, taking data from storage container and writing it into Azure SQL database. We have our data scientist, which is Yevgeny's, and worked with cognitive services. He had some interesting challenges that he's gonna share about today. And yeah, me as a Power BI analyst who created the report, and to ensure that everything goes the way it has to go, and we have something to show you. We had a project lead and the idea generator for this. So this is the first view of Power BI report. So we can see the route. My colleague here is located. Our office is here in Robežu 40, and he drove with his car to this new store, which is I forgot the name, near Azure Centers, Azure Centers, Gallery Azure. This is one part that we have already created, and here is the part about recognizing the fuel receipts. Maybe you can share your experience about this part.
At this point, when we got results like this, we were pretty desperate, and our project was to end because the results are not satisfying at all. First of all, Latvian is not supported, still not supported by this cognitive services type. And the second, that you see that even if we get the text, there is no way how to. You have to invent some very. You have to get into very hard coding, how to parse the text and get the values which you really need. And so basically, the main message that form recognizer standard solution are not fit for these purposes. And if you have a PDF or like standard form with the values, like here is the date, here is the amount, it understands it perfectly. But if you have a check or receipt like this, where those values can be anywhere in the receipt, so basically you have to find the solution for this in some customized solution. And around Christmas time, I microwave found out about the possibility of using the preview features of the form recognizer. It was like a labeling tool, which was not uh, available at our region, where our Azure services were deployed in the North Europe, but it was available in West Europe and South America as a preview feature still. And we got in contact with Microsoft and got the passwords and we got all the credentials. So basically, we like testing new features of Microsoft, and actually, this was really interesting. And here are already the results of using this tool. So basically, it has to be supervised. Like learning, machine can't give you results for such type of documents, which are Microsoft provides some examples which are not very useful in real life. So basically, we have to assist the machine to say where which information is needed. So basically, on the right side, you can see already the results of the trained model on this receipt. So some conclusions like there should be certain format for the picture, which has to have minimum size for it. Then we can't process the receipts from different companies with one model. And then we have to train because they have different format, different type of organizing the information on this small paper. So basically, we have to train the model for every company separately. So basically, at this point, we decided to limit our choice of company to Neste, and we had five receipts, and then we with general accuracy of 80%, and later we added some other uh, receipts with different type of payment options. So basically, and then we increased our accuracy to 90%, but still kind of after analyzing what type of information we need from this receipt, we understood only the top of it would be necessary. So basically, for the next week, we'll retrain the model and get only the top information, basically for euros and liters, and we suppose that accuracy will raise at this point. But basically, as you see, those names of the fields, I put them manually in Latvian, and going through the receipts, just pointing where it should find the right the right field, which fields have to be taken into account. And as you see that the fields are recognized pretty with high confidence, except those the most critical ones for amount of money and amount of liters. Actually, the percentage there is around 20-40%, and it's not satisfying at all. But the main conclusion was that it, it gets the values right. It simply is not sure that they are on the right side of that line, and it's not sure if it's really the right information which is needed. But from practice, it gets the right results almost for every receipt we have uploaded to the blob storage. So basically, yeah, this is kind of the output of using the preview features. And so I hope that Microsoft develops this feature further, and then so Latvian will be available. So we can use it also for our clients. But it still kind of needs development. And, at one point, we thought to do it somehow with coding with Python or something, but then, yeah, we understood that the Microsoft provide this solution, and it already has to give you key and value, and it should be there to be able to sell this product. So basically, I hope with our feedback, we will help Microsoft to develop it further.
Yeah, but the final conclusion at this point is that we cannot rely 100% on a machine that it will recognize everything absolutely, but it can help automate a lot of manual job for accountant, but still somebody in company has to review the results before posting this into ERP system and then using for financial accounting. Mm, that's it. What we had to show or share with you today. I believe we're not ready to show any demos. Uh, there are few or two further steps that we see at the moment. Right now, we still need to uh, create a procedure that writes this recognized JSON data into the database. I mean the recognized receipts. And then we need to develop a web application where we will embed the reports for our customers, which are based on Power BI. So that's about how did we succeed. And we are pretty how to say happy with the results.
that like Evgeny said about Christmas time, we thought that this is gonna end up very badly. We we already thought to come up with some other idea, but then we found out about this review feature, which saved the project.
Nice. So, any questions from anybody? Thoughts? I'm massively curious as to why that, even though it gets numbers right, it still is on the low idea of of accuracy. I still find that really strange whenever I see that. I find that really bizarre. I don't know why. I just do. It just feels odd in my human brain. I'm sure the machine knows better than I do. So outside of this, where do you see this as something that you're within your company you would want to then continue building, or do you see this as information that helps you launch differing ideas? How do you see this for you guys?
I think the concept of the idea is something that we could develop, and it could be useful for our customers. I'm not sure about all the architecture. Maybe we could do something differently
Mm-hmm.
in production environments, but I'm happy for the results that we have reached at this moment. I have talked about few of our customers about this approach. What are we doing? And they were also very interested in this solution.
Nice.
Would help automate a lot of work. Simple accountants.
Well, of course,
Yeah,
we already
that's
have
yes.
these GPS navigation systems. Maybe one could say that's not nothing new to show the routes on the map. However, all those devices cost something, and we all have mobile phones, so why not use it?
So again, I'm going to come back to something else. I noticed when you put that on the architecture diagram, the IoT, and it's like mobile phone. It's like my head goes, oh, but it is though. You're right. It absolutely should and could be treated as such a thing. But we always think it has to be some widget that is
Well, yeah, we
new.
have played with some other IoT those devices as
Yeah.
well from Subtechnica. We have connected with their humidity devices, temperature devices,
Yeah.
and so on. This is something different, something new for us as well to connect with
Nice.
mobile phone.
Good job. Are you going to demo anything? Are you going to demo again next week, or are you probably still too soon for the working?
We have to ask this for our rest of our team because I'm not ready to demo any of those codes as I didn't write
Okay.
anything.
Nice.
But
Okay.
maybe we'll see.
We'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay. Who's up next?
We didn't figure out what to call us. Our idea is that by using Azure Cognitive Services image recognition, we could make some kind of app which will help people to choose healthy food. For example, he goes to the shop and he takes a picture of label for some kind of food, where there's description how much there is sugar, salt, so on, and it will tell the user if it passes maybe some like yeah, if it passes the limit, or maybe it's if we make like bigger database, it could maybe compare to the different foods and show how it different from them. And yeah, the idea is that, but there's also problems to recognize text because you need to like make the image in a good quality to cognitive services to cognitive services make identification of text and then classify it by parameters. Uh, for now, it's mainly as a idea, as a concept, because our subscription is finished, and we stopped it. We were like, cognitive services part, but no, we go going, and yeah, that's our idea.
Okay, but also we didn't have any anyone with developer experience and stuff like that. We thought about what can we create that could be somewhat useful for somebody using the technology that we offer. So that like many stuff and not just something like vision, therefore IoT. So we got some ideas and we stuck with this one because it seemed more plausible with some kind of OCR solution that extracts information about nutritional value, some flags about gluten or nuts or some kind of allergy trigger stuff. Users might avoid checking all the nutritional value in mornings and just do the ideally just do the small scan like a picture and it shows.
How far did you proceed with your idea? What
We need to try that.
Yeah, we took.
We haven't tried the Microsoft OCR solution yet.
Yeah, we took some pictures with labeling descriptions to make test how it recognizes it, and
We haven't tried OCR.
yeah, and then we checked some like web in the web there is some like information you can access like I don't know maybe some candy labels for example you can like automatically maybe scrap it and to put it in database to compare make some kind of compare and so on. But yeah, that's it for now. Yeah, we have some images and
so it's kind of solution without mobile app. It's so you can just application. You can upload picture of that label containing those data and the content, and then you process it, recognize that ingredients, check them, and give back description how harmful it is and poison.
Not sure about the final idea.
yeah,
The user can specify, show me red color if there is gluten, or show me something if there's something that if he cannot reach that.
Okay.
Maybe some people want to calculate some how much carbohydrates, calories, or stuff like that. Maybe that's not that specific.
as the demo it definitely will be like web page because I think to make app it's much harder. You could do like some page I upload a photo and it shows that it recognizes how it compares. So the time stuff, maybe some stuff which user is the main part.
Are you ready to demo next week?
Nice. Yeah, I'm again. So I think from an actually solving. So I'm going to attack this from a non-technical perspective, just because this is a. I have a family member who has to like literally check labels. So I have now become like the world's most accustomed to finding certain things on labels, except when I brought them here, or Russia, or Spain, or anywhere where the ingredients list isn't necessarily in English. And then I had to learn what these words were in another language just so that I could always make red flag certain things, because you always kind of like you are looking for certain things. But if you could have something which would just say this is safe, this is not safe. That's yeah. So from a solving a person's problem, this is kind of highly up there. Oh, it's a whole different level. But you can see how this could be expanded. In my head, I can see how you could start with quite something where you're able to capture and identify certain elements. It contains gluten. It contains certain things. But then you could add it, as you said, you could add it into. I want to stay within this parameters of macros. So I want this many carbohydrates. I want this many, and you could build this potential thing solves many different problems from a very simple idea of I have something in my hand, or two things, one of which is a phone, and you're able to help me navigate something. I like that. Any other questions? I'm hoping for a demo next week. I'll cross my fingers. I'll pray to the demo gods. But I like it. Any questions from anyone? We good?
So far, the limitation, of course, is like Go Azure is good with recognizing words, let's say, because the, if you take picture far from product, it will catch the words.
We haven't tested it, but yeah,
Yeah.
main things are how good of a result can OCR return and how good of text extraction from that we can manage to extract the useful information.
We also found like on camera quality to Hothouse. Until you find it that's very small. It's the same problem in this.
I was quite curious because there are programs which recognize your handwriting, which could be written in any way. For instance, why can't it recognize the text normally all the time? It should be done. But yeah, it's not done.
There are a lot of those OCR engines, and some of them are not tunable, trainable for some font conditional something like that.
Yeah, I'll give you the scary headline on this one. In 1987, 88, I was working for a company who we did have some OCR tech, and we thought it was amazing. There's quite a few of you that weren't born then, so hey, excellent. But yeah, again, it is an interesting one as to why it's still a problem, why it's still not as easy to kind of like sort out or solve. Interesting. Okay, I'm looking forward to this. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Do we have anyone else that wants to kind of give the view of where they're at? Yes, I do believe so, sir. And I think, is this our final one for this evening? Our guys over there next week? Okay. Cool. In that case, it's all on you. Bring us home.
We actually met for the first time. Yeah, there are some teammates in and out. But yeah, that's fine. I actually work for a furniture manufacturer. I'm furniture, and we have. I'm a production guy. I work for production, and we actually have 4 processes. At the moment, we have developed power apps, just to scan the process timing of each orders through the 4 process. So we collect those data and then get published in SharePoint. At the moment, what we are thinking is to go to the next level and then share this information to the customer. It can be like very simple, same like the practice system in Amazon, like where how I was thinking is that like they will just see the completion of the 4 process, not the timing, but just a line moving, a bar like thing just moving to the process when it get completed. And okay, this is one like we are just still thinking what is the easiest way to publish this data into our website. And our team was also looking for a kind of programmer developer who can help us publish. Okay, pick data, create some kind of a user interface in the website and then publish the data. This is one. The next thing is that we have a order creation process where a person uh, get the order from our shop, and then he will physically enter the uh, resource data like the material data into the Navision. Our next idea is that like is there any other way like to automate things to to get the data from Excel file and then straight away get entered in the Navision for each order. Mm, that for that also at the moment like we are stuck. I'm not a IT guy, but thanks to Microsoft Flow and then app like where it doesn't need any programming. So at the moment I'm trying something with Microsoft Flow, but still it's not working good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
So,
that. And so I'm going to just add, Alex, I think that's what this
so
community is about.
yeah. At the moment it's like some two two persons like who just entered these things, but I believe that it can be automated. It's very simple. Like there is the data are available in Excel, and it just has to be picked and then entered in Navision. Yeah,
Use data factory.
data factory.
Yeah, Azure actually has a data factory service that you can use for exactly what you are saying, taking files and pushing the data into place X, for example. So, and I really suggest that you don't fear that you are not like programmer or developer because the data factory, if you find where to click, then it's actually quite straightforward. There's everything in visual big boxes. You fill in this one, fill that one, and if something doesn't work, it straight away tells you do that something differently. So, yeah,
Okay,
it's just suggesting based on what you are studying.
okay, thanks.
Any questions or any other further suggestions from this? Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, don't go heavy on the questions. So what would you guys see as the next thing that you would like to do? Is it to find some more development assistance,
Uh,
or some almost like ratification, some kind of looking at your ideas and saying this is what could be done. What are you guys looking for next?
uh, for the second idea, like I will follow the
Yeah.
suggestion like what we recommended
Mm-hmm.
about the data factory.
Okay.
But for the first thing, I'm still we are still like thinking what is the easiest way or what software we need to use to get published.
Okay. So maybe next week, maybe if you want, like, try and draw it out what the
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
is, and
yeah.
maybe people can kind of throw ideas at this big dartboard that we'll have on the screen. Because again, it's possible that someone else might be able to spark an idea, which might just give you that next step.
Okay.
Awesome. Um,
If you have something demo, just bring it. If you don't have
Yeah,
demo,
maybe next
so
week. Yeah, okay.
we have done first stage
Yeah, okay.
first manage. Okay?
Yeah.
okay.
Cool.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. So I guess it comes back to me again, unless Olga wants to talk about this.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'm just going to bring us home on this. First of all, thank you. Thank you to everyone for sharing. Thank you to everyone for demoing what they could. And we really tried to make sure that people were okay with the fact that it didn't have to be working code, didn't have to be working software. If you think about the amount of time that you've had with these ideas, it's not a lot. Okay, even if you manage to get a team of 4 or 5, you've still not had a lot of time since when we started this till today. Okay, so there is some more time, before next week. Please circulate your ideas around if you do need any help, another set of eyes, somebody else to kind of validate something, or you just want to show off. Happy with that too. Hey, we're using this function; it's really good. We love it. I think again, I'm going to come back to it. It's a community. It's about sharing and keeping on growing the community together. So I do want to thank you guys for sharing tonight. It means a lot because it means that, well, I think this is beginning to work. There was this idea that we would all get together in the beginning of December, was it? Yeah. And then nobody would show up. And then 50-something people showed up. And I was like, wow, what about the week after? Will they show up then? And you did. And you kept showing up. And even though we had Christmas, or many Christmases, depending on where you are in the world, we had the Christmas and New Year and everything else. And you're still here. This is good. I like it. So thank you. I'm looking forward to next week. So I'll be here literally all this rest of this week and next week. So looking forward to you guys sharing. We still have this room for a little bit longer because obviously we've normally got it till about 8 o'clock. So if anybody wants to carry on within their teams, because I know sometimes this is the first time you get to spend as much time together, or potentially the first time ever. Good job for meeting for real for the first time. That's it from me. But just again, I know Olga's got some additional words to say, but I'm just going to say thank you again. Give yourselves a big round of applause because it's really good.
Guys, if you have some questions, do not hesitate to ask them in Teams. I know we have some issues with Teams as it is, so we need to fix their channels and not working properly. So, raise questions and if I can help you, I can. And next time we are going to meet not 5 p.m. but 6 p.m. just a little bit later, so we don't have to run from the work, from the office. And guys who didn't do the demo today, prepare for the next week as much as you can. It can be demonstrating working version, showing the code, sharing your experience, etc. Don't hesitate. We are looking forward for any results. And the second thing as well. If you have some problems, issues with subscriptions, with protocols, etc., let me know. We have already extended with one team. Another team I have found how can help you. So we can look it now and maybe it will help you. Yes, and we are staying here. If you have any questions, just thank you.
Thank you. One last thing on the Teams thing. One more thing. Not Steve Jobs, that one more thing, but one more thing. Obviously, we've been using this a lot from a technical perspective. If you have any challenges around problem solution fit, so in other words, is the problem that you think you're solving really fitting? It's like the solution that you've got, is it really fitting? Please ask on the channel. I am more than happy to go into the kind of productized set of thinking around some of this if anybody wants to throw that up there. I'm probably causing myself more work, but that's okay. So if you want to discuss any of those things outside of technology, happy to talk about the product side of these things as well. Okay, so Teams is your friend for the next week or so. Okay, all good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.